you see his dick. You get the humping action, and it's pretty aggressive. It's the first dom-com. Hi, this is Mike Balaban. Welcome to another episode of Bammer 47 on YouTube. Today I'm going to discuss a recently released movie called Pillion, Pillion. The build-up to it was pretty tremendous because of the somewhat taboo nature of the topic. It's a story of a dominant, submissive relationship between two gay men, and it has some uncomfortable moments in it, given that that subculture has largely been hidden from view. The fact that they chose to focus the attention on it was surprising and welcome by a lot of people, but with some concern about how the straight world's going to take to it. In any event, it opened in limited release on the 6th of February. This last week, it opened on a wider release, and I got a couple of friends and went up to La Jolla to a multiplex theater there and saw it on Saturday. Let me just say it's a British psychological drama, but at the same time, a dark comedy. The joke has been kind of made that it's the first dom-com as opposed to rom-com. It's directed by Harry Leighton, starring Alexander Skarsgard and Harry Melling. It's the story of a timid man. He's really shy and low in confidence, and he enters a submissive relationship with a extremely hot, dominant biker, and explores the themes of power, desire, and identity. When I was watching this, I was amazingly drawn to a comparison between this and the recent series Heated Rivalry between two gay closeted hockey players in the professional leagues. And clearly there's very little similarity on the surface between a dominant, submissive leather relationship and a hidden gay relationship inside pro hockey. But the similarity is that both of them take a look inside a hidden world. In the case of Heated Rivalry, a secretive, closeted relationship between two men in professional sports. And in the case of Pillion, looking inside a dominant, submissive relationship and what that entails, which has potential moments of discomfort for some people. I expected that to be the case with me. This movie explores the arc of Colin, the submissive guy, of his discovery of his submissive side and his submissiveness to Ray, in which he learns that he has an unlimited aptitude for devotion, as he puts it, or for service. For example, he's expected to cook all of Ray's meals, even though he's not a cook. He has to cut his hair short into a buzz cut after having a luscious head of hair. He has to ride in the pillion position, and that pillion is the word to describe the seat at the back of a two-person motorcycle where you ride behind the top. You are in the pillion submissive spot. And most egregiously, he requires that Colin sleep on the floor of his bedroom, even though he's got a really giant bed that would easily fit him. Watching him totally submit to the other guy, Ray, in front of Colin's parents, including his dying mother. She had cancer, head was shaved. That was not enjoyable, but it proved how much he was submissive and how devoted he was. I want to thank all of you for your patronage and how much you have helped us. A week ago, we put up a normal video of 13 minutes discussing the changes that have happened to gay men and in our lives over the last 40, 50 years. And that took off viral. So please help Pillion get its share of viewers. Watch it, sign up so you can get a notice from us every 2 weeks alerting you to the latest one. At any event, we see them in their lives. We see them going out into the world among a group of gay bikers that Ray, the dominant guy, belongs to. And if I remember hearing correctly, those are real-life bikers from a real biker gang that were engaged to play these roles in the movie. I should say that Skarsgard is something of an international sex symbol. He's versatile in terms of acting, but he's masculine, blonde, Swedish, and he starred in such movies as True Blood, Big Little Lies, and The Legend of Tarzan. So you can see how he's usually cast. Now, there has been in real life some confusion surrounding the issue of whether Skarsgard is actually bisexual or not. And the belief was that he might be, but in fact, once that got back to him, he put out a statement clarifying that his words had been misinterpreted, that he's quite comfortable in the world of gays and bis and leather tops and bottoms, but that he's quite avowedly heterosexual. Too bad, because he sure is sexy. He was at the live screening in New York on February 3rd when I couldn't make it across country for that, but I sent my best friend, who I'll talk to you about more momentarily, and he loved it. And he talked to the Skarsgard who was there and the director, etc. We watched Colin in this movie gradually gain assurance and even some confidence. And at one point near the end of the film, he tries to set some limits on his submissiveness. But Ray won't abide that. He's only interested in a total sub. The other thing you should know is there are a couple of scenes when they're showing Ray seemingly fucking Colin. And you get the humping action, and it's pretty aggressive. And then there and in another scene, when Ray is zipping up his leather pants, you see his dick, or at least what you think is his dick. Turns out articles have made clear that those were prosthetics. Let me tell you, it was pretty appealing to look at, but so it's kind of disappointing to hear it's not real. At any event, I expected, as I said, to be discomforted by certain scenes in this because I'm really not comfortable when I see people really subordinate themselves so wholly. And to give you an example of that, when my best friend, who I referred to a moment or so ago, came to visit me in Tokyo in 1998, I had been reassigned there by my company and was working for a couple of years. And he came and stayed with me in my 3-bedroom, 1,800 square foot Tokyo rental, quite lavish. Now, I happened to already have a Danish model who I'd met at the gym, Tipness Gym in the kind of Times Square area of Tokyo. And as I got to know him, his living situation became untenable and he had to move and he didn't have a place to stay. So I said, his name was Simon. Simon, you can come stay with me for 6 weeks. And that's what he was doing when my other friend, Al, arrived from LA. Simon was making up the bed that he was giving up to my friend Al so that Al could move into a ready-made room. And Al was going to sleep on the 3rd bedroom. And Al refused to take that bedroom away from Simon. He said, I'd rather be displaced than have you displaced. That was one thing that bothered me. But what bothered me even more is when we went out to a fancy dinner, Simon, the Danish model, Al, and me. While we're eating, Al let Simon know that Al got a penchant for being devoted or servicing the man that he's infatuated with. And he had begun to be infatuated with Simon. His beauty was obvious. He said, so, for example, you know that old game Simon Says? If you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. If you tell me you want me to lick this plate up in the air publicly here in this restaurant, I'll be happy to do that. And I was squirming when hearing that because I just don't like that kind of behavior. So I expected some of that in this movie. Interestingly, I did not have moments that I couldn't handle. I never looked away. It wasn't really uncomfortable. Their roles were believable, and I sat through the whole thing and really enjoyed it. It was well written, well acted, and a first-class production, which makes me feel like it's probably going to do better than I would have anticipated publicly. It brings the taboo underground scene to a broader audience. So that's it. If you like the sound of this, by all means, go see it and then let me know what you think. We've been seeing, with Heated Rivalry and this, some really entertaining films come out recently. I hope the streak continues. Thanks for watching another episode of Bammer 47. This is Mike Balaban. I hope you stick around for more. Thanks.